Hello, and welcome back to the Decentra Studios crypto channel, where we talk about interesting cryptos that we are interested in. Today, we are going to talk about a sector in the crypto market. If you are new to crypto, this is something to be keeping your eye on. We're going to be discussing RWAs and how they can be a good way to diversify a portfolio. What are RWAs? What does it mean? Well, RWA stands for Real World Asset. It is basically just the next evolution of NFTs. It is an actual practical use case on it. You can create a tokenized version of anything in the world, pretty much. You can base it on silver, gold, oil. You can secure it off-chain and then have people buy shares of liquidity through the use of tokens or coins to share the liquidity of that asset. Instead of just one person owning it, many people can own shares of the liquidity of the asset. That's basically the point of an RWA. So what are examples of some RWAs? Well, one of the most interesting prospects for RWAs I find for myself is to be Hedera. The reason why I find Hedera to be interesting is because it is a fairly fast chain, and that's their whole shtick, is tokenizing financial assets and digital assets. They're also an RWA chain for real estate, as it says even there, stable coins. And people think that a huge sector of the market is going to be opened up for RWAs, and Hedera is going to be a big part of that. Also, I want to correct something that I said in a previous video. I said that Avalanche is a layer 2 token. Avalanche is not a layer 2 token. They are one token. They are an original blockchain. They actually have 3 blockchains. Let's read about it. Avalanche is a layer 1 blockchain that functions as a platform for decentralized applications and custom blockchain networks. It is one of Ethereum's rivals, aiming to unseat Ethereum as the most popular blockchain for smart contracts. It aims to do so by having a higher transaction output of up to 6,500 transactions per second while not compromising scalability. This made possible by Avalanche's unique architecture. The Avalanche network consists of 3 individual blockchains: the X chain, the C chain, and the P chain. Each chain has a distinct purpose, which is radically different from the approach Bitcoin and Ethereum use, namely, having all nodes validate all transactions. Avalanche blockchains even use different consensus mechanisms based on their use cases. After its mainnet launch in 2020, Avalanche has worked on developing its own ecosystem of dApps and DeFi. Different Ethereum-based projects such as SushiSwap and TrueUSD have integrated with Avalanche. Furthermore, the platform is constantly working on improving interoperability between its own ecosystem and Ethereum, like through the development of bridges. Interesting. So, that is what Avalanche is. It is not a layer 2 token. That is the correction that needs to be made. I was buying Avalanche before I knew it was a layer 1 token on its own, because I liked the RWA prospects to it. As you can see, it may not be a bad time to start accumulating some Avalanche. That's not financial advice. I don't give financial advice. But Avalanche is a very interesting prospect, and it is also considered to be a RWA token. Ondo is another RWA token. It's very new, very recent, and also a good opportunity to maybe accumulate some Ondo. It might not be a good time to accumulate some Ondo if you interpret it from there's room for it to fall. Compared to where it opened, compared to where it is now, there's still room for it to fall. So if you're afraid of that potential downside of the room for it to fall over here in this area, then that's something that you might want to consider. But I am accumulating some Ondo. Chainlink is also considered to be a big RWA token. It is considered one of the big favorites of the RWA class, and it is one of the darlings of the crypto community. Chainlink's tokenomics are not too bad. They only have a 657 circulating supply of Chainlink in its circulation, which is not bad. That means that the price action is going to be volatile, as it has shown throughout its history. Very swing tradable asset. I've swung trade Chainlink a few times now. It was pretty fun. I made a few bucks, so I've had some fun with Chainlink. But as far as it being a long-term RWA asset, you can see that there's a lot of potential downside with Chainlink, and so you have to make the decision for yourself if you think it's a good idea to get into Chainlink. I am buying small amounts of Chainlink, just getting some, but not getting too much exposure for myself. This is a great way to diversify, because what you can do is, if you've noticed, if you're in a situation like me, where the big certain amount of holdings in your bags are concentrated, buying increasing holdings of RWAs and diversifying through that may be a good way to diversify a portfolio. I found that this is an effective way for me to diversify my portfolio. This is an example of some of the cryptos that I hold, and as you can see, I have big hopes and dreams in Cardano and ICP, and I've also talked about Cardano and ICP on this channel. So I am holding these cryptos. I obviously talk about cryptos that I hold. So there you go. If that makes any sense to you, you know, I'm not shilling these cryptos. I'm just being open about which cryptos that I am buying and which cryptos that I do hold. I will be doing videos on individual of these cryptos, specializing the analysis for each of the individual cryptos. But this video is more just to put attention towards how you can possibly use RWAs to diversify a portfolio if someone so well chose to do so. That is what I am doing currently. I am just buying small amounts of RWAs when I see good times to buy them, and I'm doing that to slowly but surely diversify my portfolio through this market. And eventually the days of buying and accumulating are going to be done for the short term, and that day will come. But I find that nickel and diming certain RWAs, specifically when they're having bad days, is a good way to diversify my portfolio. I've been having fun with it, and I find them to be very interesting prospects, but I do not think that they are going to be my main plays for this cycle. That's probably going to be a long-term play. RWAs seem to be a much long-term play, and we'll see how that plays out. I think it's just going to be a normal bull cycle, in my opinion, and we'll be preparing for the next one coming up. But in the long term, we are relatively early in a space that still has a lot of room for growth.